because we capturing this on camera, try not to go too far. You use those that line there, the wire, that pretty much is, you can try and stay this side in. You can go a little bit over this.
Okay, now I got it.
You can see there now where, yeah.
Okay, cool. So we started working with these guys, and I think there's one up there you might recognize is NioCat, down on the bottom right. I think you had Repeat come and speak to you a couple of weeks back. NioCat is one of our customers, and we've worked with them for 8 years. We've got into industries, we've got into telecommunications, we're working with the Stellenbosch bunch at the moment, like the guys called Azargen, it's a biotech business. We've been involved in the radio business. Recently, we were tasked to put together an application for a new radio station in Cape Town. We won that one in December. For my sons, I'm going to go start a new radio station for the next 2 or 3 years.
You guys do a Cybercell?
Cybercell was a fundraising exercise. We weren't successful in that one. That's Fiona. You know that? Okay. Yeah, she wanted to sell the business, and we tried to find a buyer for it, both locally and internationally. But we couldn't get the valuation at the right level for the buyers. So she hung on to it as far as the way she's still running it. Yeah, so that's just, we do a bit of corporate finance work, a bit of fundraising work, a lot of advisory work. I also spend some time with Dan and Barn, and we do quite a lot of entrepreneurial type work. So that's our background, and that's where we've picked up a lot of experience. Now specifically, you guys have entered this competition with an idea, and there are certain deliverables you've got to put into this project, and one of them is a project plan. You're going to be one of 70 applicants for the prizes. There's 10 prizes, 10,000 each. You've got to make sure that the documentation you put in makes sense, that it answers all the questions, that it's clear, that it's simple, and it's easy to read. Because these judges are going to be going through reams and reams of information. And trust me, I've judged the TT100, I've judged a lot of those type of things, they're novice competitions. The first thing that happens is when you get volumes and volumes of really badly written information, you check it out quite quickly. So one of the first tips I've got for you is, whatever you do, communicate well. I know that your ability to communicate and write is not what you should be judged on. But in the real world, when people are judging your business plans to give you money, they're going to judge your ability to express yourself. So keep it simple, keep it short. Try to say as little as possible, or as much as possible, in as few words as possible. And also, don't use jargon. Jargon is the worst thing you get in these things. You have a particular industry that you specialize in, and you have particular terms and terminology that you use that makes sense to you. But just keep it, try and make it a little bit more layman's terms for, I don't know who the judges are, but I'm sure that some of them will not understand the type of fields you're going into. They will understand the entrepreneurial aspect of the business. Keep it tight. So you're going to set yourself, this project plan is all about setting some goals and some milestones. And the key word is achievable, okay? We're not dreaming here. You've got an idea, you've got to get into action as soon as possible. Yes, you might win some prize money, you're going to get 10,000 Rand. It's not going to go very far. So set yourself some goals that say, I will go this far, and this far, and I'll get that far, and a milestone, and this and that, until that money runs out. And then another milestone might be to raise some more money. So put your plan in place, but make sure it's not the impossible. We can all dream, but a friend of mine used to say, aim for the lamppost and you can trip over the pavement. Alright, so you can dream, make sure you've got some short-term views as well. The milestones, you've got to time your milestones to match your cash. So this comes back to budgets. And in your case, if you're trying to make sure this 10,000 Rand goes a long way, you've got to put some specific milestones, because guaranteed, you're going to put dates to these things, and you're going to overrun. So give yourself some room for slippage. Okay? What are the key deliverables for success? What are the things that are going to measure that you're going to see that you're on track? Pick your top 3. Don't set 20 milestones, 20 deliverables. Pick the top 3. You can have sort of secondary deliverables around there. But just pick the top 3 that you can concentrate on, that you know you're on track. And that people reading this plan are going to you set things that are realistic and not beyond the realm of belief. And they are achievable. And then there's the dependency. particularly with biotech projects, you can set a milestone. We're doing this particular one at the moment, and the first milestone is freedom to operate, which means, are there any legal obstacles in the path of taking this product all the way to market? It's a drug development project. So we're doing this with the lawyers and checking all the papers. That thing is going to have a serious impact on the route that the project takes from there on. So there's a dependency of some of these milestones and some of these deliverables. Some of them might be linear. In other words, you can achieve one milestone and move on to the next. Some of them might be parallel, and some of them might be multidimensional. So you're okay there. Time frames. I've spoken about time frames. It should actually be the timeline. Okay? You've got to estimate. Because we're only estimating. Right now, you're sitting in this room, you've got your idea, you've got your plan in your mind, you're going to put it to paper now. You think something's going to take a month or 2 months or whatever it might be, that's your estimate. Give yourself room to search. Because there's nothing worse than running out of money before the project's over and having to go back to your funders and ask for more. Rather tell them, if you think it's going to take 12 months, rather give them, add a few months. Because they'd rather know than have you come back, and they'll only give you enough money to see you through that period. Okay. Your cash of 10,000 Rand, what are you going to do with it? How are you going to spend it? That's part of the project plan as well. So the budget, the cash flow, and the project plan are all interrelated. And all of this is what we call the runway. The runway is how much cash you've got over what period of time before you run out of runway and crash.
Sorry.
Yep.
That's a question. Do we have to plan for 10,000?
No, you don't. No, you don't. Sorry, I've used that as an example. If you think you need 1 million, if you think you need 10,000, that's what your project plan is like. This 10,000 is just going to be something that you've got that you can put towards it. But you need to tell, I assume, you need to tell the judge where you're going to get the balance of the money.
Yeah, that's exactly what we want. So basically, the budget study you'll see is your budget basically up until launch or when your 10,000 runs out, whichever happens last. So we want to see how much it's going to take you to launch this business. If 10,000 is more than you need, then go into your 10,000 runs out, but otherwise go in for the launch phase.
Then I'll assume you need to demonstrate where you're going to get the remainder of the funds as well. Not have a plan.
That's one of the questions there as well. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Just feel free, just ask anytime. So what are the basics of the project plan? Why are you doing this? What's the idea? What's the problem? What are you addressing? Okay. So it's why are you doing this and what you're doing about it? What are you actually doing? So the project plan is to say what the actual idea is and what you're going to build, make, design, deliver, whatever it might be. Who? Now there's two sides to the who. One you've already spoken about, I think, in the earlier sessions is the market. So you've done your market viability, you've done your market sizing, that type of thing. You know, who you want to sell this to, who you want to sell the business to ultimately. But who's going to do it? Now, I think that was last week's thing, like the team side of things. So the who is quite important too. Who's going to do it? And who's going to do it to? When? And that's the timeline. Okay. So what people do you need? What tools do you need? What equipment? Then buy hardware, computers, lab equipment, cars. I don't quite know what it's going to be, but those are all tools. And do you need a space to do this? Can you do it from your garage at home? Do you need to get premises? Do you need to get a lab? All of those things come into the project plan as well. And they all stack up. And what cost? Because everything feeds back into the budget. So project plan, those are the basics that come into it. Just a couple of project planning tools. This is a very basic template. That's a free Excel template, the one at the top. It uses a Gantt chart. Anyone heard of a Gantt methodology? But really, it's those stacking sort of bar charts that come up and they show period one, or it might be months, might be quarters, whatever it might be. And you've got the various tasks down below, and it just graphically demonstrates. Graphics, great idea, guys. You've got to use graphics. The less words and the more graphics, the better. I think that's probably a marketing tip as well. If you're putting a document together that you want to sell to somebody, whether it's a panel of judges or a panel of investors, the more graphics you've got in there, the better, because people see pictures better than they see words. So you have charts, Gantt charts, those are great. Basecamp is a collaborative software. It's more of an advanced one. That's quite. There is a slightly cheaper or free version of Basecamp. I think it's High Five or something. But the most obvious part of any project plan is just use your common sense. Do a logical progression. Do it chronologically, but bring into account this interdependency of the deliverables, and just apply your minds to this and keep a test principle in, keep it simple, because it really does make sense.